Hi there, this is Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast where we rate your favorite animals out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts, but we try our best to bring the best and most correct information we can.
I'm excited to talk about our critters this week. Before we talk about our animals for this week, I think I would like to take a moment to talk about the movie we saw this weekend. Because I think probably a lot of people listening would get a lot out of the movie we saw this weekend.
Very true.
This is not sponsored, by the way.
No.
We have not received a check. We have not received compensation for talking about this movie. We just really liked it.
Yeah. So we saw the movie Flow.
Like F-L-O-W.
Yes.
This is an animated film that comes from a Latvian director, made in France and Belgium, I think. So a European film, but is completely without dialogue.
I was just going to say that's good because it would have likely not been in English.
That's true. So this is an animated film, no dialogue because all of the characters are animals.
Right. And not the kind of animals that can talk. Just animals.
Yep. Just critters. They don't talk. I know when we showed the trailer to our youngest son, Finley, who is 4, the main character of Flo is a little black cat. And I showed him the movie and he said, "What is the talking cat's name?" And I said, "Well, no, baby, this cat doesn't talk." Because he sees a cartoon cat. He thinks it's going to talk. And then he said, "No. And he was trying to think. He said, that cat looks like the talking cat. What's the talking cat's name?" And then I realized he meant Gigi, the talking cat from Kiki's Delivery Service. But it's such a cute movie.
Yeah, it was nice.
It is a beautiful, there's like some elements of fantasy. There's like a big flood and this cat has to, survive on this boat with a host of animal friends that join it throughout its boat journey.
Right.
There's a dog and a capybara and a secretary bird and what else? A ring-tailed lemur?
Yeah.
None of this is spoilers because this is all in the trailer. But yeah, there's a host of critters. And what I really liked about it was that I felt like the animals behaved, obviously not like 100% realistically, right? Because they're like, steering a boat and doing some sophisticated, behaviors, but they behave very realistically for what they are. They're not like getting up on 2 legs and walking around and like using advanced tools and stuff like that, like you see in a lot of cartoons. It feels like you're just watching real animals.
Yeah, just some animals that found themselves in a predicament.
Well, so we took our kids aged 10 and 4 to go see this movie, and it was really, really good. So if you're looking for a movie to go watch with kids who like animals, it's a good one to go check out.
It is. It got very calming towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
So I started to doze off. But in the same way, like if you were listening to like Skyrim atmosphere music.
Oh, the music is amazing in this movie. Like the music is really good.
And the visuals are all very calming.
It is.
For that part of the movie, at least.
Very, very artistic, very beautiful, like just stunning. And in a weird way, it feels like watching a video game. Like the aesthetic of it looks like a video game, which is kind of funny because of all the comparisons I saw with games like Stray.
Right.
It did feel like watching a video game in some ways, but it's really beautiful.
And it almost felt like the graphics for all of the environments and weather, I don't know, were more advanced than the graphics for the characters themselves. Yeah,
it felt like that was like maybe more of the focus was on the environments and the ambience, I guess. Gorgeous movie. And the kids liked it. They paid attention the whole time. Like I was worried that a movie with no dialogue and particularly no musical numbers was going to be challenging for Finley to pay attention to.
Right.
Because right now, if it's not Frozen or Spidey and his amazing friends, Finley's not interested in watching it.
True.
That's just the thing I thought you guys would like to hear.
Yeah.
It's my turn to go first this week.
Okay. So, what animal do you have for us, Ellen? This
week I'm talking about the wood frog.
Okay.
It's a real frog. It's not like made of wood.
Okay. 1 for 2. That's fine.
They live in the woods. So like that part is true.
Okay.
But it's not made of wood. Although I do like those little like wooden frogs.
Like the ones with the ridges that you use a stick to make it the croaking sound?
I wasn't even thinking of those, but yes, I do love those. Those are great. And this species' scientific name is Rana sylvatica, which is the most fantasy protagonist name I've ever heard.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I could definitely read like a whole fantasy novel about a character named Rana sylvatica. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, you'll also see the scientific name as Lithobates sylvaticus. I guess Lithobates is a more recently sort of proposed subgenus, but I usually saw this as Rana sylvatica. And this species was submitted by Soren and Arthur Pearson. Thank you both.
Yeah. Oh, you said Rana, like R-A-N-A?
Yes.
Isn't there a song about frogs?
I think it's a Spanish word for frog.
Yeah. Gosh, that is on the fringe of my memory. Whatever it is, I'll look it up later.
Did you maybe have like a family, like lullaby or something about a little frog?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll have to look it
It's
up
not
later.
it's not in your 4 million days of Duolingo. You haven't covered that one yet?
No folklore yet.
I'm getting my information from lots of sources, including amphibiaweb.org, Animal Diversity Web, and the National Park Service at nps.gov, as well as a bunch of papers that I'll kind of cite along the way as they came up. And I found a lot of those papers from amphibiaweb.org. They had a really, really helpful like compilation of news blogs that they've compiled about this frog that pointed me to these papers.
Oh,
so thank you, AmphibiaWeb. Big ups with the assist.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with this frog, at a glance, this is a pretty plain frog.
Okay.
It's just a regular looking frog. They're brown. They got like a dark ninja mask over their eyes. It's a frog. Like whatever you're thinking of in your head when you think of a brown frog, that's what it is.
Perfect. Nailed it.
They're little. They're only about 2 to 3 inches long, or 50 to 70 millimeters. So it's a little guy. And these frogs are found in the boreal forests of North America. So all across Alaska and most of Canada, into the northeastern United States, and down into the Appalachians. When you think of frog, you might not think of them being in like the northern reaches of Alaska and like subarctic Canada.
Right.
That's maybe an unexpected place for you to find a frog. This is the northernmost amphibian in the entire Western Hemisphere, but globally, they do have a cousin, the Siberian wood frog, which is found even farther north. They can be found up to a latitude of 71 degrees north.
Huh.
Now, I didn't really understand how latitude worked.
Okay.
I didn't know what 71 degrees north meant. The equator is 0.
Right.
The North Pole is 90.
Right.
So they're
like basically 70 of 90
yes.
to the North Pole.
And just for a little bit of context here, Seattle's latitude is 47.6.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're like just barely above the halfway point. And these frogs can be found halfway between here and the North Pole, basically.
Yeah.
And there are some really surprising and fascinating reasons why they can live so far north when most other amphibians can't. Which brings me to effectiveness, which if this is anyone's first time listening to this podcast, these are physical adaptations, things built into the animal's body that let them do a good job of the things that they're trying to do, like not die in the Arctic. And I'm giving wood frogs a 9 out of 10 because it's a little nuts. It's a little bit bonkers crazy. Bananas. Okay. Right off the bat, I'm going to get into what I think is the wildest thing about these frogs. They are what I'll call freezer safe.
Okay.
For long-term storage. They stay fresh.
Okay, that's convenient.
So frogs, like other amphibians and reptiles, are cold-blooded. They can't warm themselves internally. Now, in the winter, when it starts to get cold, lots of frogs maybe head for the water, and they might like spend the winter maybe in a like in the bottom of a lake, like underneath the water, maybe burrowed into the mud, something like that, somewhere where they're basically avoiding the coldest temperatures. Like they're relying on kind of insulation from maybe like there's a layer of ice over the pond or something. They're kind of just trying to get away from the most severe cold. Rather than adapting to avoid the cold, the wood frog has kind of leaned into the cold. They have this incredibly sophisticated whole suite of adaptations that let them embrace the cold and just make the most of it, basically. So when it starts to get cold, the frog's body begins to produce a lot of glucose. So their liver is putting out lots of glucose, which is sugar. Mm-hmm. So their blood sugar just gets way, way, way high. Tons of sugar in their blood. And the glucose concentrates inside of their cells. And the important thing about this is that glucose lowers the freezing point of water. So it prevents the water inside of their cells, which is the important part. Yes. You don't want your cells freezing. So the inside of their cells has a lower freezing point.
Yeah. One of the reasons you don't want that is because when the water in your cell does freeze, it crystallizes and will break the cell barrier.
Yeah, because water expands when it freezes, and if that's pushing on the cell like membrane, then it's gonna pop.
Yes, effectively killing the cell.
Yeah, it's bad.
Basically what frostbite is.
You don't want that happening. It can also dehydrate the cell. So like when crystals form around the cell, it can draw water out. And the glucose helps keep the water together inside of the cell.
Okay.
So it's not dehydrating the cell, which you also don't want that to happen. A lot of things you don't want happening to your cells. Another thing they do is they actually produce proteins that they're called ice nucleation agents. Mm-hmm. These are proteins that encourage the formation of ice crystals, which seems like the opposite of what you want if you don't want your body to freeze. But what's happening is these proteins are being deployed in non-critical areas. So in places like in layers in between like the skin and the muscle, or in between cells where it would be fine if ice crystals froze there. They're not in the important parts. And this is encouraging ice crystals to form there so that it actually insulates the critical parts. The best way I can explain this is if you've ever seen a crop field right before a frost, a lot of times people will spray water on their crops. Have you seen this before?
No.
They would do this in Florida where like if there was about to be a big freeze overnight, especially like oranges and stuff like that, if you had like fruit, you would spray them with water. That water would freeze. But the idea is that the process of freezing releases heat, and it actually protects the fruit from freezing. Like if the water on top of it freezes, it keeps the fruit inside from freezing. I made sure that I looked this up to make sure I wasn't imagining this.
It's counterintuitive.
It is. But the process of freezing actually like warms the surrounding area, which is really interesting.
I'm wrapping my head around it.
It's really weird. It's like it creates almost like a protective insulation layer above it.
If you think about heat transfer, right?
Right.
As something freezes, heat is leaving that thing.
Yes.
As it freezes.
Yes. And pushing the heat into the surrounding area.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So like actually encouraging ice to form in non-crucial areas helps protect crucial areas.
Yeah.
Which is really, really interesting. So the frog is able to basically shut down their entire body to the extent that 70% of all of the water in its entire body is frozen, completely frozen. They don't breathe. Their heart doesn't beat. They have no brain activity. They're functionally dead, fully they're frozen 70% solid. And the only things that are not completely frozen are like critical, like very, very critical structures in their body that like they need to survive.
Okay.
But their blood's not flowing. Their heart's not pumping. They're just sitting there frozen for 7 months.
Well,
it can be up to 7 months, right? It doesn't have like, this is kind of like in the more extreme, far north areas, but like if it can be up to 7 months of the year that they are spending literally just a frozen chunk, which is absurd to me.
Yeah.
It's like literal cryostasis, right? It's like what you hear about in science fiction, you know? Like people have been trying to do this for decades.
Which we can with small animals.
Well, it's the waking up part that doesn't work so good.
Right. But also freezing quickly enough to avoid big ice crystals that cause problems at the cellular level. Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of science fiction novels recently that involve space travel, and space travel, of course, involves massive amounts of time, right? Because you could go decades in between, like travel time between like, I don't know, planets or something could be decades in between. Right. So people will like go into cryostasis to basically like, it's fast travel, basically. You skip time just to like make the narrative flow faster. And I was just thinking about cryostasis and like how in science fiction it works like that, basically. Like, oh, well, I guess I'll just be dead for a few decades.
Yeah.
and then come back and everything's fine. But yeah, the wood frog just does it. And it's the wild part is that when spring comes and they thaw out, within like a couple hours, it's like nothing ever happened.
Huh.
Yeah. It's like they just exist outside of time for that period. Like
crazy.
They just don't even have to experience that. Like, it is very, very wild. During this time of year, it's really lucky for them that not a lot of predators are out, because if they were, this would be like meal prep, basically. This is like a freezer meal, right? Like, and their blood sugar is so high that they'd be really, really sweet and probably delicious during this time. So it's a good thing nothing's going around popping them in their mouths. I got a lot of this information from a video on the YouTube channel Real Science. The title of that video is Surviving an Impossible Deep Freeze, and that was written by Stephanie Salmon. And that was featuring biochemistry professor Dr. Ken Story, who had some really, he seems like quite the character. He seemed like a really fun person to talk to, because he had some fun little things to say in that video. But it was a really good video that kind of had like some good visuals, like good visual representations of what's going on at the cellular level that's allowing the frog to like freeze basically their entire body,
right,
and then be fine with it and not be damaged by it at all. It's kind of like their body is like picking and choosing exactly where it does and does not want the ice to be. Like, we want the ice in areas that wouldn't be permanently damaged by it, and we want to make sure that ice isn't forming in areas that would kill us. It's just the way that their body does it is so fine-tuned. Like, it's really, really interesting. And now, why would this help? Like, why would they do all of this and not just burrow and avoid the cold like most other frogs do? Like, what would be the benefit of overhauling your entire metabolism and your whole body to such an extreme adaptation when you could just skip it, could just not do all of that? Well, the benefit of this is that this allows the wood frogs to overwinter on land, like pretty close to the surface. They don't have to like dig way, way, way down underground. Like some other frogs will like burrow really far down into the ground or underwater. The land warms up much faster than the water does. So like in the spring, when the sun starts to come out and starts to warm up the land, they're ready to go first. Like, they are the first in line. They immediately, like, because, you know, they're shallow, they're close to where the sun is hitting the land. So they warm up a lot quicker. By the time, like, the other frogs are, you know, starting to thaw, maybe like when the ice over the ponds are thawing, the other frogs don't even have a chance to get out of like hibernation before the wood frogs have already been up for months. Right. So they're like way far ahead of all of the other frogs when it comes to like getting out of this estivation period.
And I guess on the other side of it, they don't have to worry about getting into the ground before it's too hard to burrow into.
Yeah, because they're usually just like kind of hiding under leaf litter. They'll kind of like burrow into like the leaf litter. They're not going very far down. Yeah. So it kind of lets them make the most of the time that they have. And they get to be first. Be first, which is really useful when it comes to like, you know, you get first pick of breeding spots and food resources and stuff. Like, it gives them a huge head start over other frogs that would be coming out much later in the season. Now, research into how wood frogs both survive but also recover from freezing, because it's one thing to like freeze a body. It's another thing to bring it back. Like, that's a different process. And that could help humans learn how to better store and transport organs. So like when an organ needs to be like transferred to someone for like a transplant or something, as it is now, you have like less than 24 hours to get that organ into where it's going. So if you have someone that's like on the other side of the world, right, that's like a match for an organ transplant or something, the clock is ticking, right? You got to move it fast and you have to move it cold. So there's some idea that maybe that could be, you know, maybe research into how the wood frogs like survive this freezing could help us freeze and store organs long term.
That's a common story device in lots of fiction.
What, organ transplants?
Like having to transplant an organ, like, like for example, in Young Justice, a DC property, there's an episode where Young Flash has to, or Kid Flash, I think his name is, has to transport like a heart or something from across the country during a blizzard.
Oh, jeez.
And like the
bad guys tomorrow.
And the bad guys trying to stop him along the route and all this stuff. Because like the person who the donation is for is like a political person from a different government, that kind of thing. It's this whole thing.
There's a lot of science fiction parallels I'm noticing in this. There's another one coming up later that there's a lot of science fiction stuff going on with this animal. In fact, that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. Another thing I wanted to kind of give them points for in effectiveness is something that it could go either way. This could be a bonus or a deduction because it can help and it can harm. So when they're threatened by a predator, wood frog tadpoles will release chemicals from their skin that act as an alarm cue. So it basically signals to everyone in the surrounding area, I'm being attacked by a predator.
Okay.
Now, this isn't like exclusive just to other tadpoles. Like, it's not a message that's only going to the other like, this isn't like a text in their group chat or something. Like,
sure.
It's not in a private channel. This is going out to everybody, including other predators. In which case, you're basically blasting you've lit a homing beacon, right? That's like, hey, prey over here. Sure. Come get me, right?
Okay.
It's kind of ringing the dinner bell for like nearby predators. So you think like, okay, why would they do this? And there's some different ideas. Like one is that maybe it's helping alert other tadpoles in the area that there's a threat nearby, which is like, okay, maybe doesn't really help that individual.
Right.
So it might be for helping the other tadpoles around them. But there's a really interesting hypothesis called the predator attraction hypothesis, where the idea is that summoning more predators is hoping that those predators will interfere with the other predators. Yeah. So you end up with like a too many cooks like situation where the predators start to compete with each other and they start to try to like sabotage each other and throw each other off because they want the prey. And if you like instigate enough chaos, then you can get away in the confusion. And there was a really cool paper on that called Evidence for the Predator Attraction Hypothesis in an Amphibian Predator Prey System. That was by Crane et al. In the Journal of Evolutionary Biology in September of 2022. And just a quote from that paper because I found it interesting. Salamanders rushed their attacks when a competitor individual was present and unrestrained. So in this situation, being restrained meant like behind a barrier. Like they're being held in a separate tank where they could see what was going on, but they weren't able to physically intervene, thereby increasing the chances of escape for tadpoles. So in these experiments, it seemed to work. Like it seemed like when the tadpoles let out this alarm cue and other salamanders were attracted, it worked. The salamanders distracted each other and the tadpoles got away. Okay. So the reason why I brought this up and why I was saying there's a lot of science fiction parallels in here is because this reminded me a lot of the dark forest hypothesis. Right. Which, has been on my mind heavy recently because I just read The Dark Forest, which is the second. I read the whole series in the three-body problem. That's not the name of the series. Three-Body Problem is the name of the first book. The whole series, I think, is called Remembrance of Earth's Past, is what the trilogy is called. But the first book is The Three-Body Problem. If you've seen The Three-Body Problem on Netflix, it's an adaptation of the book series, and I just read the book series. The second one is called The Dark Forest, and it revolves heavily around the dark forest hypothesis, which is, and this is just from Wikipedia. The dark forest hypothesis presumes that any spacefaring civilization would view any other intelligent life as an inevitable threat and thus destroy any nascent life that makes itself known. So the idea is that when surrounded by unknown entities, you have to err on the side of caution and assume that if they find you, they're going to destroy you. Because that's just the safest assumption you can possibly make. So anyone who makes their location known will get destroyed. So it is in your best interest to conceal your location as much as you possibly can. So in this book series, without giving too much away, because it's an incredible book series, everyone should read it. But a big part of the way that humanity is trying to defend itself in this series is by relying on the dark forest, like dark forest deterrence is what they call it in this series, because the idea is basically, if you threaten us, we will broadcast our location to the entire universe. And like, maybe we can't bring you down, but somebody out there will. Right. Yeah, maybe we can't it's the end of the Thor Ragnarok movie where he's like, where she's like, you can't defeat me. And he's like, no, but he can.
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what they're doing, right? Is like relying on dark forest deterrence to send out this distress cue that's like, oh, if you threaten me, I'm going to call on more of you. Right.
Huh. Yeah. So what do the other tadpoles do, though, in response to this?
I mean, I'm guessing they just kind of swim away and try to escape as fast as they can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this paper was more specifically looking at like the response that predators had to the alarm cue. Part of it was looking at whether the predators were even attracted by the alarm cue in the first place. And they were. They were quite interested.
Okay.
And the last thing I wanted to include for effectiveness is, this is not specific to this frog. This is like a frog thing in general. In cartoons and stuff, you'll often see frogs using this sort of long, sticky projectile tongue to catch their prey. And a lot of cartoons will do this kind of sort of chameleon-like a ballistic projection of the tongue, right? Where it kind of like shoots out really, really fast and goes really, really far. That's how chameleon tongues work. And there are like a few amphibians who do have ballistic tongue projection. But for most of them, it's something very different and very weird. Their tongue is attached to the front of their mouth. So like if you imagine kind of where like your front bottom teeth are, that's kind of where their tongue is attached. And then when they're lunging for prey, they just open their mouth really fast and it just like flips the tongue forward.
Right.
So it's like a pop-up book.
Yeah.
So they basically have to have like the top of their tongue on the bottom because they're going to flip it out. So it's going to flip upside down when it flips.
I see.
So yeah, just a word on frog tongues. Moving on to our next category of ingenuity, which are behaviors, things the animal is doing to solve problems, navigate their world, thrive in their environment. I'm giving wood frogs a 6 out of 10 for ingenuity, which sounds harsh, but I will remind you that's very high for a frog.
Yeah.
Frogs, not a ton happening in there.
Eat.
Literally just eat. And even then it seems like a low priority task because I've watched a lot of YouTube videos of these frogs being like fed in like museums and zoos and stuff like that. You could put their prey on you could serve it to them on a plate literally right in front of their face and it would still take them a while to like get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is you have one job. You have one job. So, 6 out of 10, that's pretty good for a frog. First of all, these frogs breed in something called vernal pools. Have you ever heard this word?
I think so.
I thought I had heard this word vernal before, but I think I was thinking of Vorpal from like the Jabberwocky poem.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
I'm talking about the D&D Vorpal blade.
Oh, is that in D&D too? If it is, it's a reference to the Jabberwocky, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So a vernal pool is a temporary body of water. This is something that appears during wet seasons, but the pool goes away during dry seasons. So it would be a pool that's only there during like spring and summer and then dries up and evaporates in the fall. And since the wood frogs are the first ones up in the spring, they have sort of their pick of the spot in the vernal. They're the first ones there.
Right.
And since these pools aren't year round, they don't have fish in them.
Oh.
No fish in these pools because where would the fish go during the dry season? And fish eat tadpoles. So a vernal pool makes a really, really good place for frogs to lay their eggs, which is why these vernal pools are so important. Now, when mating, when seeking out mates, wood frogs are generally unable to tell males from females by sight.
Okay.
So the way they tell is just by going for it. They just indiscriminately embrace whatever other frog they come across. They just try their luck. They're like, oh, you seem like an adult.
There's a statistics game in here.
It is. Every time they roll the dice. So they just go for it. They go for an embrace. It's a little hug from behind moment. And based on the reaction of the frog to that embrace. So if it croaks or squeaks when embraced, that is a male. That is another male. And they will be like, oh.
Hey, Jeff.
I imagine it's a very gentlemanly sort of like, beg your pardon.
Egods.
I'll be on my way. Good day. But if it is round enough to be a female with eggs, because it can't just be a female, it has to be a female with eggs.
Oh, I see.
Then mission accomplished. They'll seal the deal.
Interesting.
So they have to go up to every potential mate and just kind of put their arms around them like, are you round enough?
Hug me.
It's a fun first date activity. Just size them up a little bit, wrap your arms around, be like, are you round enough?
Are you egg laden?
Now, once the eggs hatch, wood frog tadpoles have the strongest known ability to recognize kinship of any amphibian. Wood frog tadpoles tend to seek out and congregate with other tadpoles of their same parentage, so with their siblings.
I see.
That's very unusual for amphibians. They usually don't really care that much,
right.
But these in particular have some way of knowing, and it's not even really known how they know which ones are their siblings, but they do. They can figure it out, and they swim together. So they seem to prefer their siblings, and it's not really known how or why. Just a fun little mystery. And the last thing I want to talk about for their ingenuity is their adaptation to noise pollution. So loud noises from human activity, which would be things like the sounds of traffic from a busy road, right? If like your vernal pool is like a ditch on the side of the road, then you're going to be dealing with a lot of noise. Loud noises can induce a lot of harmful stress responses, not just in frogs, but in lots of animals, right? Loud noises can be very stressful, and stress can induce physical responses in the animal, particularly the stress hormone cortisol, which can really, in the long term, high levels of cortisol can really do a number on the body. Now, a 2018 study showed some really surprising flexibility in wood frogs. So wood frogs that were collected from much noisier places were a lot less stressed out by noise pollution than wood frogs collected from quieter places. Here's a quote from the paper. They said, "Frogs from populations with histories of exposure to traffic noise failed to exhibit a physiological stress and immune response to traffic noise despite being raised under the same conditions as frogs obtained from quiet sites." So basically, they collect eggs from a pond next to a road, eggs from a pond out in the middle of nowhere. They're just eggs at this point. They haven't been raised around anything. And then they bring those eggs back to the lab. With one group, they, play lots of loud noise. With one group, they don't. And the ones that were eggs next to the road were fine with loud noise. Whereas regardless of how they were raised, which is really, really interesting, because I feel like in humans, that would be something that would be attributed more to like a developmental thing, right? Like if you're raised around a lot of noise, you might be a little bit less sensitive to it.
Right. Like that play music for your still developing child type thing.
And like in humans, that's something that's much more on the nurture side of things than on the nature side of things. But in the wood frogs, this seems to be like an inherited trait. Like it seems like a generational, something that they're hatched with if the population they come from is already around loud noise. So it's an interesting way that they can adapt like physiologically to noise. It's a cool way that I wouldn't say it's a cool way that humans are impacting the species. It's an interesting way that humans are impacting the species.
Right.
That paper was called "Frogs Adapt to Physiologically Costly Anthropogenic Noise." That was by Tennyson et al. In the Proceedings of the Royal Society B in November of 2018. Final category for wood frogs is aesthetics. I'm giving them a 7 out of 10. They're pretty cute.
Pretty good for a frog.
It's a frog. Like, it's exactly what you think a frog looks like. There's nothing particularly, like, striking or amazing going on about them. But I've seen uglier frogs.
But it's no poison dart frog.
It's no poison dart frog. Yeah, that's like, it's middle of the road. It's a mid frog. Like, it's not grotesque, and we've talked about some real grotesque frogs on this show. On this show. I would say as far as frogs we've talked about on this show, it's pretty high up there.
Sure.
Although we've talked about the pumpkin toadlet, and that was really a really cute frog.
I don't recall now.
That was the little frog that's too little and his brain don't work right, and he can't jump good because he's too little.
Oh, poor thing.
And finally, just for conservation for the wood frog, they are listed as of least concern, but wood frogs need to seasonally freeze and thaw because their body stockpiles so many like resources. Like it makes stores of a lot of things that its body is going to need to get it through those winter months. So if it doesn't freeze and thaw, it doesn't survive. That was one of the things that the biochemist in the video talked about, how like when they're kept in the lab, if you don't like freeze them out, they will not survive. Like it's part of their natural body cycle. And, something to keep in mind about that as far as conservation goes is that requires certain temperatures.
Right.
Which may not be reliable in the future, right?
Especially in the southern ranges of their habitat.
Yeah. So as winters get warmer over time, that could really affect the wood frogs if they aren't experiencing those seasonal freezes that they rely on.
Yeah.
So, global warming. It comes for us all in some way or another.
I mean, one bad winter would basically eradicate that population.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't get a freeze, right? Like if they had a particularly warm winter, that could really spell disaster for the wood frog population.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wish I had some action items for you about don't globally warm.
If you happen to control a very large industry.
Oh, you know what? We'll get that hurricane machine on it. The machine they used to make the hurricane.
You got to turn the knob from windy to just the snowflake one.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know what? They put the knob on the wrong setting. That's what it is. And that's the wood frog.
Thanks, babe.
This is such a little nondescript looking frog that I really didn't know what I was getting into when I started like cursory Googling for it.
Did you have any pop culture reference stuff?
I
have one.
Oh, really? What's that?
I think, at least.
What's that?
In Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's an episode where the gang has come down with a cold and their solution or their medicine was sucking on frozen frogs.
I remember that now. I had forgotten all about that until you said that. That's definitely this frog.
Yes.
Like for sure.
Yeah.
And they're sweet because of the high blood sugar.
That would make sense.
So it's like a little throat drop.
And part of it was that they only worked as medicine if they were still frozen. So there was like a race against time to get them back to the gang before they defrosted.
It's because of the blood sugar. They were trying to tell us something. That was science communication in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. Oh, man, I forgot. I can't believe I forgot about that. You're so right. That was definitely this frog. I think there are other frogs that will, not like completely freeze their body, but, will just kind of let their body temperature lower and go into this estivation period during the winter. But this is definitely the most extreme version of that. The most extreme. I'll get that green CGI guy on this one.
Don't will that into existence.
He could do that frog thing where they like suck in their eyeballs to swallow. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then flip in his tongue forward. Oh, man. I miss you, most extreme CGI guy. That was just a special little bit for the 8 people who remember the most extreme.
Excellent.
All right, let's take a quick break to hear from our friends on the Max Fun Network, and then we'll get to Christian's Animal.
All right, we're over 70 episodes into our show. Let's learn everything. So let's do a quick progress check. Have we learnt about quantum physics?
Yes, episode 59.
We haven't learned about the history of gossip yet, have we?
Yes, we have. Same episode, actually.
Have we talked to Tom Scott about his love of roller coasters?
Episode 64.
So how close are we to learning everything?
Bad news. We still haven't learned everything yet.
We're ruined!
No, it's good news as well. There is still a lot to learn.
Woo!
I'm Dr. Ella Hubber.
I'm regular Tom Lum.
I'm Caroline Roper, and on Let's Learn Everything, we learn about science and a bit of everything else too.
And although we haven't learned everything yet, I've got a pretty good feeling about this next episode.
Join us every other Thursday on Maximum Fun.
Most of the plants humans eat are technically grass.
Most of the asphalt we drive on is almost a liquid.
The formula of WD-40 is San Diego's greatest secret.
Zippers were invented by a Swedish immigrant love story.
On the podcast Secretly Incredibly Fascinating, we explore this type of amazing stuff.
Stuff about ordinary topics like cabbage and batteries and socks.
Topics you'd never expect to be the title of the podcast. Secretly Incredibly Fascinating.
Find us by searching for the word secretly in your podcast app.
And at MaximumFun.org.
I guess I'll take a quick break from Capybara Go, which I was playing during our commercial break. So, Christian, what is your animal this week?
This week, I'm talking about the Titan Triggerfish.
What a powerful name.
It is for a powerful fish. Scientific name, I'm trying my best here.
Let's hear it.
Ballistoids viridescens.
That's a cool name.
Yes.
Ballistoids.
Yes.
That's tough.
And this species was submitted by Mary Breams. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Part of that name is similar to the word ballista, which is a crossbow type weapon, just kind of scaled up.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that was what that was. I've only ever heard that word used like ballistic.
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't know a ballista is a thing.
Imagine like a large crossbow designed for like as a siege weapon.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
They had them in Game of Thrones.
I think they called them Scorpion something or another.
Yeah. But they had them in Game of Thrones to fight the dragons, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's all coming together. They also had ballista in Baldur's Gate 3. I'm just now remembering.
Ah, yes, they do. It's a big medieval motif.
So annoying.
So yeah, this references the trigger part of their name, triggerfish, because all triggerfish have like a spine on like in front of their dorsal fin that they can raise and lower.
That's it? That's why they call it a triggerfish?
Yeah.
There's other things that do that.
It kind of looks like a trigger, I guess.
I think it looks like a flag or a lever.
Well, it's a spine. A lot of times it's designed to where they can wedge themselves into rocks and things, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
it seems like a stretch to name it after a ballista for a tiny little beep.
And I'll be getting my information from the Australian Museum as well as Fish Base.
More like fish based.
So, this is a large fish in the ocean, usually around reefs. It grows up to 75 centimeters long, or 30 inches.
That's just under 3 feet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, which is pretty big for
2.5 feet.
For a reef fish.
That is pretty big, yeah.
And they can be found in the Indo, West, and Central Pacific. Again, usually around coral reefs, up to 50 meters deep, or 164 feet deep.
That's a big reef fish.
It is.
Because usually it's like the little colorful guys darting around.
Yep. So, hence the Titan part of its name, because it is one of the larger triggerfish. Not, I think the second largest. Taxonomic family is Ballistidae, or the triggerfish. A short little personal story.
Oh.
As a young child, think kindergarten age, my dad took me on a deep sea fishing trip.
Whoa.
Yes. So on one of those like charter boats where a bunch of people sign up to go fishing, like way offshore. One of the things I caught on that trip was a triggerfish.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, was it big?
To me, at least.
Was it? Yeah. It wasn't one of these guys, was it?
No, it was not. Oh. It was a smaller, I think, a gray colored triggerfish.
Aww.
Yeah.
Were you excited about it?
I was.
That seems really cool.
That was the same trip where I caught a grouper, actually.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, probably like a normal grouper.
I think so. I don't think it was a Goliath grouper. I remember it being very tasty, though, because this was also the kind of thing where you could, like, for the fish that were of the right size and species, you could take home for eating.
Can you eat a triggerfish?
I don't know. Probably not this one, and I'll talk about why.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so to get into our effectiveness, I'm going to give it a range, actually.
Okay.
Either a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Either, okay.
And I'll talk about why.
All right.
But first, I want to talk about their spines. We talked about that briefly.
Yes.
They can be up or down, and that's where the name comes from. And it often indicates aggression. So if that trigger is up, that means they are ready to go.
That's the fight switch.
Yeah.
Instead of a light switch, that's the fight switch. Yeah, and when you flick it on, that's when it's on.
Yeah. Think Dragon Ball Z, where the hair gets all pointy and up.
Right. Yeah, that is how that works.
Yes.
You can't fight without your hair pointing straight up. They go Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
the fish goes Super Saiyan.
I hope you have like 3 days worth of oxygen down there.
Because it's going to be a while. They got a good 6 episodes worth out of that.
Mm-hmm. Next thing is their teeth.
Oh.
They're big.
I don't like it when fish have big teeth.
And they're kind of human-like.
No, that's the worst way for them to be.
Yeah.
I'd so much rather them be like pointy and like razor sharp and I would so much rather that than human looking teeth.
And these teeth are made to bite into hard things like coral and hard-shelled prey. Do you want to see a picture?
Yeah, I guess. Against my will.
So this is actually a prepared specimen. It's a skeleton of a Titan triggerfish.
Okay.
Here's the skull.
Oh, God. That's the worst. It looks like... I hate to bring it back to Predator once again, but it's giving Predator. Like, it looks like it a little bit.
Oh, you mean like the alien?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that's not Predator. That's the other one.
Do you mean...
I always get them mixed up because the alien is in fact a predator and the predator is an alien. These are not descriptive movie titles.
Somehow I don't think they planned on them having crossovers when they came out respectively.
And then there's the one that's got them both. Like, how am I supposed to keep them straight?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, no, it looks like the alien from Alien.
I see.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
I see it as a combination of human and horse teeth.
Yes, it does look like horse teeth.
Yeah.
If you gave a horse human teeth, or if you gave a human horse teeth, either way.
And honestly, it doesn't look that much better, like in a living triggerfish either. Like,
because they don't have a lot of lip
yeah.
coverage, I bet.
Yeah, especially when their mouths are open doing their thing. I should probably mention what these look like. So they're a pretty stocky fish. I would say they're kind of diamond shaped.
They are
on their side.
Very rhombus-like.
Yeah.
A lot of forehead action happening here.
Yeah.
It's a significant sort of slope.
They're not like a long, elegant, swoopy fish at all.
No.
Very kind of stocky.
No, I think you nailed it when you said rhombus. That's kind of it, right?
So that's what they look like. And their coloration, by the way, is like a mix of yellow and black and white.
They're
and
pretty.
Actually, they have markings above their mouth that makes it look like they have a white mustache.
Oh, that's fun.
Which leads to one of their names being, I think, a mustache triggerfish.
That's jaunty. That's cute.
Yeah. However, I mean, I don't find them as cute overall. Like it's a big picture.
We'll get there.
So I talked about what those teeth are for, but here's some more specifics. Their diet includes sea urchins, coral, crabs, and other crustaceans, mollusks, and tube worms.
Don't eat coral. We need those. Those aren't doing good. You can eat all the sea urchins you want. Though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so here's the part that gives me some weird wiggle room on their effectiveness.
Okay.
One of the things that Mary mentioned in her email was about them having a toxic bite.
Well, it's toxic to look at. That's one thing.
And where I landed is there's disagreement, I found, between whether or not it's toxic. I haven't found any research paper that outright says they do. But here's where it comes from, I think, why they're saying this. Most sources that say it does will say it comes from ciguatoxin. Now, if that sounds familiar, that's because we talked about it with the moray eel.
Oh. And that was not a bite thing,
no,
right?
It was not.
So it's not a venom.
Right. That toxin is normally a threat to humans when eating a predator fish that has bioaccumulated ciguatoxin, like moray eels in the episode 253. And that's called ciguatera food poisoning. Now, that toxin originates from a type of algae found on coral.
So this could be something that they're eating.
Maybe. So it originates from a type of algae on coral, and their diet includes coral, so maybe there's an opportunity there to pick up the toxin in and around its mouth.
Right.
That would be present when it bites, though.
Or it could be maybe like it's a misunderstanding of the toxin. Like maybe you hear that they have this toxin and you think that they're venomous. It's a venomous bite, but maybe it's just like an accumulation inside their body.
It's probably both. I mean, so the ciguatera food poisoning is a for sure problem that can happen in this fish. Right. The bite is the part that is not clear.
I see.
So while it could be present because it's directly eating coral,
right,
I would assume the concentrations of that toxin would be much, much lower than involved in the concentrations we're talking about in bioaccumulation.
Interesting. Yeah. Or maybe even not enough to be medically significant to a human.
Right. Because there's no real reason for it to have that, because the ciguatoxin is harmless to fish.
Right.
It's really a problem to humans.
I see. And they're not hunting anything that they would need to stun or envenomate in any way. Like it's not something that would help them.
Yeah. So That's why I kind of put it as a soft maybe here.
Okay.
I think this would make a good study topic because I couldn't find anything on research topics about this topic.
So there you go. I know a lot of people. We have had emails in the past from people who, like, we asked a question on the show that we did not know the answer to, and somebody wrote a research paper about it. Yeah. So it's happened before. Let's make it happen, you guys. Get on it. It does seem like it would be possible for it to be like an incidental, like it got some toxin on its mouth and then it bit a human.
Right.
Although how often is it biting humans where like that would happen?
I'll talk about that in the in the next section.
Because that would be a huge coincidence, right? Like bite coral.
Well, actually, no, I have a note here. I suppose there aren't many things that eat coral and also have the attitude and anatomy to effectively bite a human.
I see. Okay. So maybe they're just the perfect messenger for this system.
But again, I don't know. My initial impression would be there's no way that concentration is the same as like the bioaccumulation and eating the flesh. But it would make sense that it could be delivered via bloodstream because it is a neurotoxin.
I'm wondering if maybe... Could you find any like records of people suffering effects from its bite?
No. I saw plenty of videos of like the physical like wound of having been bitten. Yeah. But nothing on like any firsthand accounts of like ciguatera poisoning.
I was wondering if maybe somebody like had a bad reaction to their bite, like had a reaction to something else. Like if maybe they got bit and then had a bad reaction and then made an assumption that it was a venom.
Maybe, because you also run the risk of infection, right?
Right.
Of just
whatever's in the water. The water's full of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a bad soup. You don't want that.
Yep. So interesting topic, I think, for further study.
What a mystery.
Mm-hmm. So with the moray eel, we talked about it because it gets bioaccumulated as a predator. It's present in the flesh and the viscera of the fish. And just like in the moray eel, we're not saying all triggerfish have this problem. It would be like specific populations that might have that kind of problem.
Is it something kind of like a pufferfish? How like they could be prepared in such a way to like avoid the toxin?
No, there's no way to avoid it. If the fish has too much, and problem is, this is not something you can easily detect. Like there's no taste, there's no smell, there's no visual indication that it's there.
It's the silent killer.
And the testing for it is really not available like at the commercial scale.
So like why would you even bother if there's no way to...
You kind of just got to take your trust that a certain population doesn't typically have high levels of
I would not do that. I would simply not. Yeah. But that's just me though. I guess I'm built different.
Yeah. I don't know. This seems like something that could be studied. So my last thing here for effectiveness are their scales. They're big and chunky, thick scales. So that provides some good protection against other things that are trying to eat them. Though I couldn't imagine. I guess some large reef sharks might go for them.
I mean, on the one hand, yes, you're a large fish, so that's probably going to protect you from a lot. But also, if you're a large fish, that's a good meal. Yeah. That's a lot of food in one catch. So you gotta be tanky.
Yeah. So that brings me to our next category of ingenuity. I'm giving a 7 out of 10. And my main and only point here is their aggression.
If you're going to be stupid, you have to also be mean.
Which I've seen something say that these are actually pretty intelligent fish for being fish.
Maybe aggression towards humans is a sign of
well, here's where it comes
them
from.
Knowing what's up.
Here's where it comes from. They're very territorial, especially of nests during breeding season.
Got it.
Now, humans are famously known for exploring reefs via like scuba diving, free diving, snorkeling, all that jazz.
Loves touch and stuff.
This fish is not here for it.
No, not interested. No soliciting.
Because they'll make their nest kind of like at the bottom in the sand. And the way you can picture what they consider their territory, imagine that nest sitting in the sand at the bottom, and then imagine a cone going up to the surface, getting bigger. So like the point of the cone being the nest, and as you go up to the surface, that cone gets bigger.
Oh, I see. I see.
So that's what it considers the territory.
That's weird. So like you could be close to it.
Here's where people make a mistake.
You can be like really close to the nest from below it, and that would be fine.
Right. Because it's not like a sphere. Right. But here's where people make a mistake. So a diver might realize they've earned the ire of a Titan triggerfish because they're big. You can see them coming maybe.
Right.
So what they'll do is they will try to swim upwards to escape it.
Oh no.
Which in this kind of shape, if you're already within the cone, swimming up puts you deeper into its territory.
Oh no, it's worse.
It's like, how dare you?
You're like actively swimming away. The fish is like, that's somehow closer to me.
This is worse. So, I don't know. If you ever find yourself in this situation, instead swim horizontally away from where that Titan triggerfish is.
I guess it's easy for us as humans who live on land to forget what the experience of living in 3 dimensions is like.
Yeah.
For a fish, right? Like it would make a lot more sense that something that would be a threat to their young would be coming from above rather than below.
Sure.
Something that is going to be like on the sand below them probably isn't going to be coming for their like eggs and babies, but something from above probably would. So I guess it makes sense that they would feel that way.
Yeah. So this is where the bite comes in, because what they'll do is when they perceive a threat like this, they could charge. They could go in for a bite, or they could do this kind of thing where they escort the thing out of their territory.
Oh, that's very polite.
Yeah. Now, I would say if I was diving in there, I would have no way of telling the difference. I would assume I'm about to get a chunk taken out of me.
Yeah. Always assume. Assume bite.
Yeah.
Assume incoming bite.
Now they have, those teeth, strong bite, meant for crunching on hard things. Supposedly, they've bitten off entire ears before.
Why would they go for the ear? Your ear should be covered. I don't know what to tell you. This feels like a skill issue, I think.
And I saw this mentioned, but again, couldn't find any actual sources or evidence of that happening. Although, from what I can see about them, I don't doubt that they possess the necessary tools and strength to do that.
Right. Yeah. If you leave this encounter with your ears, it is by the grace of the Titan triggerfish. That is an act of kindness and mercy.
So what I've seen a lot of divers will do is if they find themselves on the receiving end of the triggerfish will be to put something between them. And that could be their flippers, for example. It's much better to have a chunk taken out of a flipper than it is your foot or your leg or something. So,
I mean, listen, if some giant sky monster was flying around my baby's nursery, I would also probably try to fight it off, right? Like, I would also use whatever tools at my disposal to try to fend that off.
And it's definitely not the kind of thing where it's like mistaking them for food or anything.
Right.
So
it seems like they know what they're about.
Yeah. So again, to my earlier point, the whole toxic bite thing might just be the perfect storm of something that eats coral and then has this kind of build and aggression to go after humans.
I like it when reef fish are also mean.
So this is our last category of aesthetics. I'm giving a 6 out of 10. I like that it looks like it has a mustache. I always find that endearing in animals.
I'm looking up a picture.
Okay. It has an unsettling mouth like we talked about. The eyes are weird. They're a bit bug-eyed, and I think they can also point independent of each other.
The eyes are also, when we described it earlier as being sort of rhombus shaped, the eyes are at the top of the rhombus, not down near where the mouth is.
Right.
The eyes are up on top, which is very silly looking.
It's very goofy, especially if you can find a head-on picture of it. Although that's also the worst angle for its teeth.
I found a picture that is not flattering.
You know what it reminds me of? That recent trend of drawing characters as if like the camera was like right here looking down their nose at them.
Yes.
With like a fisheye lens.
It looks like the picture that I'm looking at, I would caption it with "You got games on your phone."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice coloration, though.
They do have some fleshy lips.
Yeah, that's true.
I ragged on them a little bit for not having a lot of lip coverage. They do. They look like they have had a few rounds of filler, I think.
Yeah. So, honestly, all the bites I did find, like pictures of the bites, not that bad, honestly, from what I was expecting. Like, I guess I was expecting, like, small shark bite, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not really. Just to wrap things up here, it has a conservation status of least concern as of 2022. But, like so many other species, they are very dependent on healthy reefs, which is a big thing nowadays.
Well, it sounds like they're making the reef not to be healthy because they're eating all the coral.
I would say that's not their main thing.
It's their job. And they're processing it and giving the nutrients back into the reef or whatever.
Yeah. Now, my pop culture reference.
Oh, yes, that's right.
This fish is featured heavily in the game Dave the Diver.
Tell me about Dave the Diver.
Which I've talked about before. PC game, I think, is primarily PC.
You've been playing it on the Steam Deck.
I have been playing on the Steam Deck, which is great for. You play as a diver who goes diving for fish in this area that's like magical, and it has all these sorts of fish here that you would not normally find in a single place. But I bring it up because it is an early hostile fish that you find in the game.
That sounds consistent with the fish's behavior.
Yeah. So, and a note that it doesn't deal poison damage like the lionfish does in that game. So
yet another piece of evidence to suggest you should cite that in the research paper. It can't possibly be venomous because...
Which, Dave the Diver is also a bit of a silly game, so it adds another layer of humor to me to cite Dave the Diver scientifically.
It's one of those games that every time I look on your screen when you're playing that game, it looks like you're playing a different game every time.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I forgot to mention the whole other half of this game. So, yeah, you're a diver in this magical place with all the fish, but you're also supplying a sushi restaurant with that fish.
Right, so it's like, yes, there's like diving and fish collecting, but there's also like restaurant management.
Yes. And you're also making sushi out of like fish that is not normally used for sushi or even normally eaten at all by humans. But
yeah.
It's a whole fun thing.
I feel like you've mentioned a lot of very interesting, like, it seems like the game comes from a love of marine biology.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, it is about eating them. But I feel like it's from a place of love.
Well, they had my number from the start.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the marine biology and eating, those are two things I'm very into. So...
It is nice to like have a deep appreciation for the animals that you're eating, I guess.
Yes.
Then, I don't know, it feels a little bit more like you're connected to the world around you and not just sort of, I don't know where I'm going with this.
There is a very heavy conservation kind of overtone in that game too. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
See, thanks, Dave the Diver. Based Dave the Diver.
Also, one of the best rhythm mini games I've ever played.
That's wild to me. It's wild to me that there's a rhythm mini game. It feels like the whole game is a series of mini games. It feels like it's mini game after mini game.
And I was really upset because when I did play it, I there was no way to go back and play that mini game. I think there is now, but
they should like have it as like a spin-off.
Yeah.
This is not related to what we were talking about, but I also feel that way about when you were playing that Yakuza game.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was it that you were playing?
0, I think.
Yakuza 0, or like you never did the same thing twice in that game. Like the whole game was just like, I was like, what is this game about? What are you doing? What is your objective in this game? Because I'd look up sometimes and it would be like a shooter, and then sometimes you're breakdancing, and then sometimes it's a racing game where you're like Hot Wheels on a Hot Wheels track.
Oh, now it's a business sim.
And then it's a business sim. And I'm like, what are we doing? What is this game about?
Yeah.
The cat's been yelling at us this whole time because he wants into his crinkle corner, which is a fun development that the cat has made, where he's pulled all of our crinkliest objects into the corner of our office. So he's got like Amazon packaging and a grocery bag and all of the stuff that makes sounds when he touches it, and he's got them pulled all into a corner.
It does great acoustic things.
It does. When we're in here, he just sits in that corner and crinkles.
All right. I won't deny him his crinkles any further.
Okay, yes. Let's grant him the crinkle request approved. Well, thank you, Christian. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for telling us about the Titan Triggerfish.
Of course.
Thank you, listener, for spending this time with us, for live, laugh, learning. If you liked what you heard, it would be awesome if you could leave behind some nice words for us in a review on your podcast app of choice. Like J Clamp, who wrote, "This is my all-time favorite, hands down. The hosts bring a boatload of fun information in such an engaging and joyful way. It serves to get the listeners so excited about nature, to explore the quirks and subtleties of our fellow creatures with a playful sense of wonder and respect. We're so lucky to have all these amazing animals alongside us, but even more lucky to have these two lovely hosts describing them to us in such a fun, insightful, and informative way. 1,000 out of 10 stars."
Excellent.
That was very sweet. Thank you so much. That to Jay Clamp. That really made my day. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
If you want to hang out with us online, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, TikTok. Links to everything will be in the episode description. You can also send me an email at ellen@justthezooofus.com if you have a cool animal you'd like to hear us talk about on the show. You can also head over to MaximumFun.org and check out the other shows on the network and get access to our exclusive bonus content for our supporters who keep our show going. The November's bonus content was featuring the hosts of Comfort Creatures, Ella McLeod and Alexis B. Preston, and we talked about the animals that we're thankful for. It was a really, really fun conversation. If you want to hear that, head over to MaximumFun.org/join, sign up to become a member for as little as $5 a month if you haven't already. And finally, I'd like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music, which sounds really nice and fun.
It does.
And that's all for this week. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.